is an emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived.
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest, the best weekly Stardom podcast anywhere in the world. I'm, as always, Alex, and I am joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. So I know you're not technically a dude, but how often do you think about the Roman Empire?
I can't say I've ever thought about the Roman Empire.
See, that's like a thing, is that apparently dudes think about the Roman Empire a lot. I don't. I think
Right.
about like ancient Greece a lot. But like
Okay.
there's this trend about like, oh, some dudes think about the Roman Empire like 4 times a week, and I was like, nah, I think about ancient Greece a lot though. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
Athens, Star of Democracy, all that shit. You know what I mean?
Greece is a lot more interesting than the
That's
Roman
what
Empire.
that's what I
Yeah.
always thought. That's why I was really confused about like, oh yeah, it's like, I don't know. That's just
Yeah.
me.
Okay. Yeah, I have seen this trend, and I'm just like, what machine life form started this? Like, how did this work? But you know what? We don't question the internet.
It was a TikTok. It was a
Yeah,
TikTok,
of
much like
course.
Sukiben.
Oh my God.
That's where all the stuff is.
This was what a money laundering scheme, huh? Anyway,
Only condos in New York though.
yeah, that's fair. Paid vacations for all of the cool Joshi. Um, anyway, this show is brought to you by the 5 Star Network. Head on over to 5starnetwork.co for all of the articles and podcasts about the wonderful world of pro wrestling. I have nothing to shill. I don't know about Dylan. Dylan always has something to shill, but maybe not.
Not really.
No?
Not this week. I mean, in a couple weeks I'll be on Pure Gems with Peps, which you were just on.
Mm-hmm.
But that's weeks out, so it's not. No, not really. No. I full disclosure, I've been doing nothing but play Kingdom Hearts. The
That's fair.
past week, no, a couple weeks. Um, that's it. And Stardom. That's it. Like I'm not even watching other wrestling right now.
Wow. Wow. So
Oh, I
you
watched
have.
Sendai. I watched
Of
Sendai. I watched
course,
Sendai.
you have to. I have not seen Sendai. There's too much because I favored CMLL over Sendai, and then
It's crazy.
Stardom was like, "Hey, here's 2 shows." So yeah, I have not seen the spoiler. Just in case nobody has seen Sendai Girls, I have not yet seen Miki Iwata's big win, which is very upsetting. You
It
know
was good.
what? Ball, ball
I
is
thought the
life.
show overall wasn't like insanely good, but it was very consistently good. Like Minami
Hmm.
versus Oka was like surprisingly insanely good. Like it
Minami's
shouldn't have been
good.
as good as it was.
Like,
Yeah, I mean I know she's good, but I was just like, damn, that was just like a super well worked match. That was just really good.
yeah,
I
no,
was kind of shocked
Minami's
about
good.
that.
I think she's a lot better than people will give her credit for.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
Yeah, lot of wrestling. I was considering I had a very chill show planned. I was like, I'm gonna brag about the classic Joshi cards I got this week.
I saw
We
that. I
can
saw that.
we can like briefly be like, wow, there was so much wrestling, like CMLL. There was an NXT Level Up tag match that went crazy,
I saw
involving
a
the
clip of it.
girls.
Metaphor, shouts out.
Hell yeah. And I was like, Sendai Girls happened, and then today Stardom just like smacked us with the back of its hand with a big news story. So I
A
think it's
couple
time
of
to
them.
get into the news from the world of Stardom. Let's start tame. Let's start with the tame stuff. First matches have been announced for the Korakuen Hall show on the 1st of October. That is the day after the 5 Star Grand Prix final. We have a Azumi debut 10th anniversary match. It is currently Azumi and Utami Hayashishita versus Starlight Kid and Momo Watanabe. And then we have a World of Stardom Championship match preview. Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, Sori Ano, and Yuna Mizumori versus Natsuko Tora, Rocca, Arena, and Fuki in Death. That is a undercard tag that they would have run anyway. Now it is a World of Stardom title preview. So, stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they had a stip.
Maybe not.
Like, maybe not. I don't know. Like, if who knows? Yeah. So Azumi, that's an interesting match for Azumi's 10th anniversary. It
Mhm.
makes sense, but I definitely was like, oh, you can. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That is fair.
Okay.
Stardom is involved in this other show that's happening on October 1st, apparently. Um, there is a Crush Gals 40th anniversary special live the top
Forgot that was
at
October 1st.
yeah, and this is at Yokohama Budokan. Um, in the presumed main event, we have a leaders match. It is Hazuki, Takumi Iroha, and Chihiro Hashimoto against Maya Yukihi, Siri, and Yu. Um, so pretty much an all-star tag match there from the Crush Gals anniversary show. Currently, there's no like mentioned way to watch this, but this is the Crush Gals doing an anniversary show. There is a 0% chance this doesn't pop up somewhere. Um, because the Crush Gals reuniting is a pretty big deal. They're not wrestling. They have specified that. I don't think Lioness Asuka can wrestle anymore.
No.
So they're just doing a talk show, and I think they're performing some songs. And there's 3 matches. So yeah, I would imagine this pops up somewhere. I mean, Samurai TV has to be like drooling at the thought of getting a Crush
The
Gals
matches
thing.
the matches sound good. Like that main event obviously is like insane. But also like there's the match with Aoki in it with
Yes.
it's like the
The
future
next
match with
leaders.
Mia Momono. Yeah, next leaders, very good. And then the Legends match is interesting. Saori and Dash are considered legends, and I think that's very funny. Because it's like it doesn't feel like they're like, you know, in the
Yeah,
same vein as
you
a
have like
Lioness Asuka.
yeah, there's
Well,
like a
not Lioness, but you know.
combined 200 years of age between 4 of the wrestlers, and then you have like in her 20s, Sari.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly. That's what I mean.
one of these things is not like the other. Aja Kong, Aquino, and fucking Sari. Is it Aquino or is that Kato?
I think it's
I
Kato in
can't
that
read.
match.
I cannot read the name, so it's yeah. Anyway, yes. So that's Stardom's involvement in the Crush Gals show. That's a pretty big deal, and that is at the Yokohama Budokan. Fingers crossed we can watch it because I mean that 6-woman tag is pretty crazy. Um, Another announcement is that there's going to be a joint Stardom and New Japan strategy presentation on October 10th. Some people have theorized this is where they're going to announce the historic crossover
Just for a
2,
crossover. Yeah.
but I think they're leaving themselves with like a month to sell tickets because Scott has basically done all the detective work. The only weekend both companies can do it is like the 18th of November. So you'd be leaving yourself with a month to sell tickets. So I don't think they're
Oh,
going to
they're definitely
confirm
doing
it.
it.
Well, maybe. But they'd have to announce it
Yeah.
before this.
No, they're dumb. They're stupid.
I don't know. They have a
They
long
love.
time for the last one.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I have a hunch.
Okay, fair. I
I don't
mean,
know.
a lot of
I
people
feel
do.
like historic crossover is a smart move to run. You know what I mean? And I think the second
Mm,
that they are like, oh, we're doing this Stardom New Japan thing in any format, even though they do this every single year, um, I think it's usually going to be like, oh, they're going to do something because I feel like it's just so easy
I
to,
guess
run something.
we'll have to see. I guess because if they did historic crossover, then that's a very obvious place for Julia versus Mercedes Monet. So we would have a kind of end goal in mind then, but I'll have to wait and see. I don't see it being at this presentation. They might do it before then. I might just be wrong. There's definitely this presentation is just going to be all the graphs that only like me and you are ever interested in,
Yeah.
where they're like, here's our money and here's our subscribers and all that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, that's the soft news. um, so the big news, obviously, and we don't have like full
Full confirmation.
information. Yeah, like
We
I
just know that.
assume knowing our luck, by the time this show goes up tomorrow, they will have announced something here. Essentially, Utami Hayashishita missed today's Stardom show. She was meant to take on Mirai in the 5-star Grand Prix. She wasn't there. She forfeit the match, and Sonny, Stardom producer and translator, he took to the. I assume this is the Observer boards. I was just sent this quote out of context. He said, "Maybe Utami is done in the 5-star. She went home today with some neck damage, been hurt for a while. She forfeits today versus Mirai, and it will be announced at the start of the show in about 30 minutes." So, looks like Utami is out of the tournament. And I'm just going to assume that she's out of the tournament. It's neck damage. I mean, Anytime I see neck damage, I get PTSD because
Yeah.
that is how Arisa mysteriously disappeared, and we all know how that ended. So yeah, I would imagine she's done, unless it's just like a minor thing. But I feel like if they sent her home on the day of the show, it's not great.
You know, I'm not gonna get into the conspiracy theories about Arisa because I just thought about something. Um, but yeah, I mean, she was gonna lose this match anyway, like against
Mhm.
Mirai. I imagine like this math wise, that would make sense. So I could see it as like, oh, we're being very. I feel like, and we talked about this last week with Julia. That's like Sunny hyperbolizes sometimes. And this is definitely partially me coping, but also partially me thinking, oh well, if she's hurt and she's just going to lose the match anyway, why not give her a week off? She has Hana next. That shouldn't be too taxing, theoretically. And then obviously the Julia match and whatnot. Like I, I think there's a possibility that it's not over for her. But I also think that it's like at the end of the day, like you said, neck damage is neck damage. Like that could end shit very
Yes.
quickly, just out of nowhere. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's how I was kind of looking at it. Is that it's like, oh well, Mirai kind of, it made sense for Mirai to get 2 more points and Utami to be stopped on this day. So them sending her home as a precaution is definitely it makes sense. Like I don't see why not. But if it if it carries on, then yeah, it's obviously going to be a big thing for this tournament because that's the other favorite gone. Um,
Yes. That's kind
yeah,
of the big thing to discuss is that, and people have been discussing this all day. If this does take Utami out of the tournament, that is the two clear favorites not finishing the tournament. And it kind of does blow things wide open because who the hell wins from the remaining field? I think most people have narrowed it down by this stage to the main like three choices. Those being Mina Shirakawa, Micah, and Hazuki. Because Tora isn't winning the tournament, she's facing Tam anyway. I have Suzu ruled out because she beat Tam and kind of challenged her anyway, so she's gonna challenge regardless. So I don't think Suzu needs to win the tournament.
I think Suzu's a close fourth of those three. I would
Who-
have Suzu
I
as
don't know.
four
I would say Siri is
at
more
this rate.
likely than Suzu, but Siri is
No,
also not very likely at all. um,
yeah.
So I don't know. I have it as Mina, Hazuki, and Micah might be the big beneficiaries. Probably in that order as well, because I've been very unsure about Micah versus Tam as like the match. I just don't
I
see it.
also, and I've said this for a long time, I think that an easy way because of, and this was with Saya, the idea that Saya might have won, and that would have been a mess because she got injured first day. I think it isn't outside the realm of possibility for Hazuki to win and just challenge for the white.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Because
she
like
could.
like really, I imagine that she was either set up for a white belt match at the year end or sometime next year, early next year, first half. So it's like, I mean, it would be rough because it would definitely feel like, okay, but like we all know that Hazuki wasn't meant to win this tournament. Like that would be kind of, you know, but I also think, Hazuki winning the tournament would be dope. Uh,
Yeah. Well, I think Mina
that's
winning would be
probably where
dope.
I would.
And
I
Mina
know
makes the
you do.
most sense.
Um,
Like
and
Mina
I
versus
was looking at the
Tam.
math. Mina, it's very easy for Mina to win this tournament.
Yeah. Her
So
versus Tam is like a very well built match. Like the thing with Micah versus Tam is there's literally nothing between them to go off, which is what Tam kind of loves to do for these big shows. Like Tam Nakano is not doing a year-end show where there's not a big storyline. Like that's just it. And her versus Mina is the most easy one, given that what's transpired between them over the past few months. So I'm leaning towards
man,
Mina just winning and getting the big Tam match in December, but I mean, I can't rule out any of the other options. They could always just go to the safety net of Siri. I think Julia is still alive. They could just do Julia Tam again. Tam could
oh
just
my
win.
god, I'm
Can Tam still win? Because she could just win and pick
yeah, she could
Saya as their
definitely win.
challenger.
I think
That's Tam might
Tam
just win.
is in the best position to win right now.
Yeah. So there's a world where Tam simply wins the tournament and picks Saya or
Oh
Utami as
shit,
her
Tam only.
challenger.
Yeah, I mean, if Tam wins her match against Natsupoi and Natsuko doesn't go to the finals. Tam just wins.
So, there's another option. Like, who the hell knows? This is all depending
This is just
on
no, yeah, that's
Utami's.
crazy. Holy shit! Well, if Tam wins,
I could see it. They love Tam. They
oh man,
did they united the belts for a month just to say she did it. Like they would definitely give her the GP win as well. So I don't know. I could see it. It all depends on Utami, because that's kind of the big thing now. And I imagine by the time this goes up, there will be clarification over her status. If not, we're all gonna be left in the dark because there could be so many different winners now with the two favorites out. But
big ups to Tommy though. I hope she gets. I hope that she recovers, swiftly, and it's not
yeah,
anything
she
major.
was in
Because
for
obviously,
like the best run of hers for the tournament. She had some really good opponents, and it was like, oh, this is going to be
yeah.
her make or break time. And yes, she missed one of the bigger
I mean,
matches
I
now.
was super excited for her against Hanan. Like that was like the match that I was looking at for Hanan the most. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's rough.
Another thing to just take note of is that Mariah May on
Mm.
Twitter said that September 30th of the GP final is a very important show for her, and we would know why soon.
It's
So,
that's gonna suck because that'll be her 99th match.
it's crazy.
If she doesn't work the Korakuen the day after, she'll have left
It,
Stardom with
it looks
99
like
matches
she
at Stardom.
won't, based on the
Yeah,
tweet. So
that sucks.
yeah.
Um,
So
I
it's
I I wish I didn't know. You know what I mean? Because like
yeah.
she's playing it off pretty well. Like I'll give her credit for that, even though everybody knows what's going on. She's playing it off very well. Of like, oh, like I want to win the 5-star next year because I can't win this year. I was like, okay, okay, you could stop. 'Cause, we know, but she just keeps going, and I kind of respect it. I respect the facade.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean,
really sad.
for play, keep it under wraps. But yeah, I think that tweet is a big confirmation that she will indeed be taking the rumored for by AEW. So yeah,
She's
that's
going to
that.
Jacksonville.
Hell yeah. Um, yeah, that's kind of all the news from the past week. And Stardom, pretty up and down week. The Utami thing just kind of threw everybody for a loop today, and it's kind of disappointing that we don't have any clarification because like, we're just doing a lot of guesswork here. Because if she's out, that does change the entire picture on that final day. Because she still seemed like the very likeliest winner of the tournament. So like without her, you're going for Plan B, and who knows what that Plan B even is. But we have to just wait and see. I think with that, it's time to get on to the review part. I don't know if I've missed anything.
Um, no, I don't think so.
Mm,
I feel
Okay
like I
then.
feel like there's something, but like I don't know.
There's always something. That's
Yeah,
that is the
it's the
case.
nature of the
There's
beast.
always something. But yeah, I guess the first show to review then was on September 16th. This was Starverse presents 5-Star GP 2023, supported by SoftBank Fukuoka tournament. This is in the Fukuoka Island City Forum in front of 495 fans. In the opener, May Sarah beat Wakasukiyama in 6.5 minutes with a shooting star.
Oh, I watched this. Yeah, it was fun. It was better than I expected. It wasn't like great, but it was a fun match. It was competent. May Sarah violated Waka.
Oh,
That's a thing that happened.
okay.
Um, yeah, it was something. Uh, I think wrestlers are just all perverts. I'm gonna be real.
Probably. Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Especially Joshi wrestlers. Like
Yes.
that,
Oh boy.
it's absurd. But let's move on.
All right. Then the match after that was Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, and Rocca beating Koguma, Hanan, and Saya Ida. Momo got the win over Ida with the chicken wing face lock in 8 minutes and 20
That's tough.
seconds.
That's tough.
Yeah.
She went to like her like D finish.
Yeah. Saya is in such an interesting spot ahead
Like
of
it would
New
be
Blood.
one thing. It'd be one thing if it. Oh no, I didn't watch the match, so I can't talk too much.
That's fair. The match after that was Megan Bayne and Suzu Suzuki beating Hanako and Utami Hayashishita. Bayne got the win over Hanako with a hanging neck bomb. So that's a new one.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna check that one out.
Okay.
Not check it out, but I'm just gonna. Yeah, because is that like the gallows pole,
I don't know.
the 12 step.
I
What day
don't
was the
know.
show on? I'm sorry.
16th, 4
16th.
days ago. So that's
Yeah, gotcha.
Saturday. Yeah.
Uh,
It's a new one
fuck, I'm on
anyway
the
because she
schedule,
had.
not the result.
Oh my god,
Okay, go on.
Dylan. She had
I'm
been winning
sorry.
with the F5, so that is a
Yes.
new move.
I,
Yes, I assume so.
I don't know if it's a new move, but I think it's the first time she's used it as a finish. Because
Okay.
if I'm correct, she's used that move before. It just doesn't usually fit. Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
this
it's
is a
just the
sit
gallows
out.
pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It's
that's
funny that I
cool.
call it the gallows pole instead of any of the other great names for it.
S-
Shouts out
You
Dr.
had me
Claus.
confused. Like I was like Gallows and Anderson. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that really is the reference you went for there. Um, yeah, Hanako and Bane. Eef. The match after that was Saki Kashima and Mirai beating Suri Ano and Yuna Mizumori and the team of Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May. Saki got the roll-up win with Rebirth in 8 minutes. That is the revival. Translation is always
Rebirth.
Rebirth, and I have to like tell myself that it is actually a revival.
Yeah, it's
But
rebirth, revival, zombie revival, or just the Kishikaisen. That's the
so,
it's all the same thing.
Saki was up to her tricks this weekend. The clips have been very funny. She was just like, "I'm not wrestling anybody. You guys can wrestle," and I think that's just great for
Oh yeah,
her.
we'll talk about that five way high speed
Okay.
match. That shit was crazy.
That's awesome. Okay. The next match then was a Red Stars block match in the 5-star Grand Prix. Tam Nakano beat Ami Sourei in 10 minutes with a Tiger suplex hold to go up to 9 points. This was surprisingly good. Ami
Yeah.
Sourei worked quite well on top for her start part of the match. It was just kind of, Ami just kind of beat down Tam, and Tam came back like the babyface that she is. It just worked really well. So yeah, I enjoyed this for what it was, and I was kind of surprised by it because I think I just have go away heat with Ami Sourei now. I don't know why. Not even
Most
bad.
people.
Like
Not
there's
even
nothing
most
wrong with
people,
Ami
but
Sourei.
see,
I like.
Ami is interesting because I
Yeah.
feel like I like Ami more than most because she has a lot of great stuff and a lot of bad stuff.
Mm,
When she does more good stuff than the bad stuff, she's good, obviously. But it's very often she sinks into the bad stuff. This is just all of her good stuff. Like anything,
yeah.
like even the submission work, which I think is one of her weakest suits, she very much like did not lean on whatsoever. She just
Must
like
say
she did it
I
for maybe
do.
like 20 seconds, and
I
then she got out of it.
hate the variation of the crab that
The,
she does.
the Styles grab.
Her and Risa Sarah both do it, and I hate it both
I
times. I'm
think
like,
Risa
it just
Sarah does
doesn't
it a
look
lot
good.
better.
It
Risa
just
Sarah
never
does it a
looks
lot
good.
better.
I don't know.
Joe does it better than anybody. But that's because that's Joe.
Samoa Joe? Well,
Yes, Mojo.
yeah, he's the
That's
best ever, of course.
yeah, exactly. um,
Come on now.
it's actually one of my favorite combos is the power bomb into the Styles grab. It's great.
Oh yes,
But
it is.
yeah, like that. She didn't do that much in this match. I think she held into a submission again for like 20 seconds. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to just hitting you as hard as I can. And I think that's great. I think Ami has stuff that is great. It's just she doesn't really like lean on that part of it, and she leans on the bad parts. Very Julia-esque. Julia used to do that a lot, where it's like she had some really good stuff in her toolbox, and she'd be like, "Nah, I'm not doing any of that. I'm just gonna wrestle." And I was like, "No, do the cool stuff." And she's been doing that more. Very similar. Ami and Julia, very similar wrestlers. Scott's gonna love that comment. But yeah, that was a really fun match. The Destino of the Thunderbolt was crazy. That was the best spot.
Oh, of course. Hold on now.
It was beautiful.
I've just seen New Japan is new English commentary guy, and I think
Who?
I used to write with him.
Wait, who was it?
Walker, no Walker, Stewart.
I'm pretty sure I do know Walker. Wait, what? That's crazy. I didn't even know New Japan was. That's insane.
It's absurd.
Good for him.
I'm friends with this guy on Facebook. It's absurd. All right. Okay. Well,
No, yeah,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
I've heard of Walker.
All right. That's absurd. That is insane. Anyway, yeah, Amanami, good match. For one that I was like, please God, this is going to be terrible. It was actually good. Speaking of good, next match was a Red Stars block match. Hazuki beat Natsupoi in 12.5 minutes with a vertical drop brainbuster. Wow. I like. Okay, wow is a bit of an overstatement. Oh,
Yeah, I was
this
gonna
was
say, yeah,
great.
you really love this. I thought it was
This
really,
was
really good.
yeah, this was like prime heel Hazuki for a lot of it. Like she was just
Mhm.
beating on this woman, and that is the best form of Hazuki that you can get. And obviously Natsupoi is a great babyface, so she worked really well off that. So I mean, these two are great wrestlers already, but then when they leaned into what they're both good at, it just made it so much better. And like if this was earlier in the tournament, I think it would have got buzz. But by this stage, only the sickest sickos are still watching, and the rest of the people
Yeah.
are cherry picking like 2 weeks later. So it's never gonna get the buzz that it should have. But it was right up there with some of the best matches that these two have had in the tournament.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really good. It was interesting because they took a slower pace. Like after the initial, like burst of offense between the two of them, they kind of did slow it down. Hazuki was in that bully mode. She tagged with Natsuko once and was like, "Oh, that shit was. I forgot how fun bullying people is. Let's go." And that was what this match was, and I thought it was super fun. Natsupoi sold the murder elbows, where like Suzuki just doesn't stop aiming for the neck. Like she actually just died on one of them and was just limp, as she kept hitting her, which was sick. Um, yeah, I thought it was like super fun. One spot I loved for no real reason, just because of the visual. And I don't know if anybody else will remember this or if you'll remember this. Near the end, Hazuki brought Natsupoi over to the corner, grabbed her by the neck, hoisted her to the top rope by the neck, and then hit the code breaker off of it. And I was like, that was the sickest visual I've seen in a minute. Because it was like the Wardlow thing that he used to do, where it was like just death. And I was like, that is awesome. Like she just looked like a murderer, and it was great. Um, and then yeah, Natsupoi just got eaten alive the last like 90 seconds of the match,
Oh,
and she
dude,
lost.
she got killed. Yeah. What I liked as well was you could tell. Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god. I hope the recording caught all that because it was so funny. Fired. Oh man.
I somehow clicked into the fucking corner and it took me to a new page and I was like, oh no, Discording all.
I know. Oh Jesus. Yep. I was like, that's crazy.
Oh jeez.
It's like it's like you got killed. Like you were getting taken out by a hitman. It was like you knew your fate was coming. It was great.
Oh man. All right. I really liked that they like really had an extra grit to this because it was a big match for both of them. Like both needed to win to keep their tournaments alive, basically. So they were digging a little bit deeper
Well,
on
not
pretty much
not
all of the
play
kickouts.
not play's tournament ended like a thunderbolt, baby. That was a different story.
Okay. Oh, like all right. Thanks. But yeah,
Oh, I've
no,
loved saying that. It's so
it
fun.
was it was just a big match for everybody.
Yeah, I really liked it. Like the vibe was definitely there. After the match, Suzuki was kind of funny. She was like, you know what, Micah is in the main event. She's also from here, so just for today, let's root for Micah. And she left. She's like, I can't believe I had to say that. But it made me realize that that is like a perfect white belt match for a Fukuoka show because they've never wrestled singles. Um, Hazuki Micah, I mean, and I was like, that's
Wow.
such a
That they've
money main event of like a Fukuoka show for the white belt
yeah.
because one of them's gonna get that eventually,
Well, yeah. I mean, the new Micah is a lot more in tune with the white belt, so I could see it.
or the red belt. I don't know, but that could definitely be a main event match between the two of them in Fukuoka.
I mean, who knows? It might be it might be the GP final this year, the way things are going.
Yeah,
But yeah, no,
God
that would
willing.
be a great match. Speaking of Micah, though, she was in our main event in the Blue Stars block. She beat Azumi in 8 minutes and 43 seconds with the Michinoku driver number 2. She moved up to 7 points with that win and put herself in a pretty good spot to win the block. Um, I saw like some like high praise for this, and I watched it, and I didn't really get it. Um, I was waiting for this one to grab me and really go, okay, this is what we're doing, and they just never did. Um,
Hmm.
I feel like there's been better versions of this match in this tournament. like the Azumi
I
versus
I
power
actually
wrestler
disagree.
stereotype.
Well, oh yeah, in this tournament, but because Micah and Izumi have wrestled every single tournament Micah's been in, every 5 star. So like of those, because I've never been a fan of their chemistry as singles wrestlers against each other. Honestly, like I've always liked both of them, but I've always thought, they could do better work with other people. I was just like better than their previous singles matches that I've seen.
Hmm. But
Like
it
definitely better
wasn't.
than last year's, and before that, I don't think Micah was at this level. So you know, what I mean, like I thought it was definitely the best match of theirs to date. But I can kind of see what you mean that it's like it wasn't a blowaway match.
Yeah, I mean, when you consider the form Azumi has been in this tournament, and it's her versus a power wrestler, you're kind of like, hell yeah, this should be great. It wasn't great. It was just kind of good.
I'm higher on it than you are, but yeah, I can see that. I think that Azumi did a lot of cool counter wrestling. I think that's what people were pointing to, because she like flipped out of the superplex. She's like landed on her feet, like which is
Yeah.
insane. She did the I hate to call it this, but she did the Osprey spot where she like flips through the lariat and like ends
Oh
up
yeah.
in a powerbomb position. Love that spot, as much as, but it's a great spot. And like there's certain things like that where Azumi was very much like on the back foot, but she kept getting ways around it. Um, but again, she does that best against like Shuri, and you can see a better match than this. What this match was trying to be in other examples of Azumi matches. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
I mean, Utami and Azumi is like the prime
Yeah,
example,
exactly.
and this was not that. Um, so yeah, this was one of the first times in like the entire tournament where I went, yeah, this kind of underwhelmed me. I thought this would be great, and it wasn't. But it was still good. 9 minutes was kind of crazy for a main event. But you know
Yeah,
what? You go and do the thing. So
yeah. I mean, Micah's Michinoku driver is like super protected. Clearly, um,
yes.
like I think that's like her biggest story of the tournament is just that it's like you don't kick out of the Michinoku driver unless you're Shuri or Himeka. Um,
Hmm.
and I like that. I think that's cool.
One of those
So
is gone, so she's
exactly.
she's home safe. Yeah. Well, that was that show anyway. That was one of the only two shows are up the last I saw. Hopefully they haven't uploaded another one since I
Oh,
last checked. I wouldn't
yeah,
think
they
so.
haven't. I don't think. But
Yeah.
after
Okay.
the match, Micah said, "Oh, we should wrestle more like not in the 5 star because we're always wrestling in the 5 star."
Yeah.
And Azumi's like, and then Azumi just like is walking away. She's limping away with Utami. She's just like, "You're stupid," and walks away. It's great.
I love
She
it.
called she
I
called
love
her a
it.
baka, but I'm not gonna, yeah.
Okay. Um, the next show to review then was on September 17th. This was Starverse Presents 5-Star GP 2023, supported by SoftBank Saga Tournament. This was in the Saga City Moritomi Cultural Gymnasium, Heartful. This
Where
had
is Saga?
518 fans. I don't know, quite frankly.
Check.
Okay, have fun with that.
Yeah, I will. Oh, it's
The
right. It's right by Fukuoka. That makes sense. Who
All
would
right,
have thought?
yeah, that's fair.
It's north of Nagasaki and west of Fukuoka.
Okay. The opening match was Saya Ida beating Hanako in just under 7 minutes with a it says transformed stretch plum. I'm
It
gonna
was
assume
it was a
it's
dragon.
inverted.
It was a dragon sleeper.
All right, okay.
But she had
Stretch
an arm
stretch
trapped,
plum as
so it
well.
was like, yeah.
Oh, I see, I see.
The stretch plum
Um,
is the neck crank version of the dragon sleeper. The
yeah,
dragon sleeper is just like the sleeper. She didn't. It wasn't a neck crank. Like there's a difference. But who
okay.
cares? Me.
Um,
That's who cares.
yes. The next match was Starlight Kid and Rocca getting the win over Waka Tsukiyama and Mina Shirakawa and the team of Utami Hayashishita and Azumi. Um, Starlight Kid
Crazy.
got the win for her team in 6.5 minutes with the Black Tiger Leg Destroyer on Waka Tsukiyama.
That's
So,
crazy. One of these teams is challenging for the tag belts.
yeah, but, it's Waka. It's,
The leg destroyer, baby.
hell yeah.
Worst named move.
The match after that was Megan Bain and Micah beating Yuna Mizumori and Tam Nakano. Megan got the win with the neck bomb again. They're going to keep calling it the neck hanging bomb. I don't know if it
It's
has
the
a name.
hangman's. It's the hangman's hangman bomb or whatever.
All
Some
right, sounds good.
oh yeah. That's what
Either way,
it's translating.
they have Megan doing a new finisher. I imagine that will play into the Artist of Stardom title match, maybe. And
Perhaps.
you know, we will see. After that, we had a high-speed five-way. Koguma beat Saki Kashima, Natsupoi, Hazuki, and Mei Seira in 6 minutes and 15 seconds when all of them got counted out.
Mhm.
So, Dylan, please
So,
explain to the lovely people what the fuck happened.
okay, I'm gonna skip like the brunt of the match because the brunt of the match was like good, creative, high speed spots. You know what you'd expect. The finish was very funny. So they were kind of like all wrestling outside, whatever. Saki Kashima grabs the belt off the table and says, "Hey, Mei Sarah, try catch me," and she runs backstage, and Mei Sarah chases her. As you do. And so from there, Hazuki and Koguma were just like, "Oh, let's just fuck up Natsupoi." And so they were just beating the shit out of Natsupoi. And the refs start counting because he's like, "Okay, everybody's out of the ring. Somebody gets fucking." And so they're beating up Natsupoi and they're doing double team moves. And then like Koguma is like, "Okay, yeah, let's do this move. Let's do this move." To Hazuki, and then they go to do that move, and then she just pushes both of them and runs to the ring at like 18, and everybody starts running, like Hazuki and Natsupoi start running to the ring, and Koguma just like goal keeps it and just kicks them both in the face and keeps them out of the ring, and she wins. It was very funny. I thought the finish was super funny, and then after the match, even better, Hazuki's just standing there outside the ring like, "I can't believe this fucking bear tricked me." And Natsupoi is just being Natsupoi, being her foolish little self, taunting to the crowd. And she walks over to Hazuki and like steps on her foot, like she's kind of like gently kicks her, and then Hazuki just pushes her and fucking jumps her. She just starts assaulting her, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like the reaction in comparison to the action was so not warranted, because
You
Hazuki was just
know,
trying to kill her.
I was kind of under this impression that Hazuki is still stuck in heal mode since teaming
Yeah.
with Toro.
Oh yeah,
She's
and
been
she also
very,
attacked
very
Koguma.
heelish. Yeah,
She
she's been
also
very
attacked
heelish.
Koguma.
If I didn't
Um,
know any better, I would think she's turning soon. But people have been predicting a Hazuki turn since the day she came back. So
yeah.
I don't want to
Uh,
do that. But she is being really heelish lately. And
I
I
I
thought that was
think
very
it's
noticeable.
interesting because she mentioned in a promo after one of her losses in the 5 star, and after her last loss, where she was like, "I really need to I need to win by any means necessary." And she was like very like specific in that wording, where it's like, "Oh, I need to win no matter what. I need to do anything to win." So I think that's kind of where that's coming from, and the Natsuko tag, obviously. Uh, I think that she's just kind of being harder now because she
Mm.
sees that she fucked up and now she wants to win. But no, I definitely agree with you because, like I said, Koguma came in to like kind of like kick Natsupoi while Hazuki was assaulting her, and Hazuki just looked at her and started choking her out. She's like, you tricked me, you mother!" And it was really funny.
All
And then
right.
she walked over to Ida and was like, "What's up with these motherfuckers?"
Crazy woman. Crazy lady. But anyway, the next match then was a Blue Stars block match. On Watanabe beat Hanan in 11 minutes with the Bastard Driver. This was very, very good.
Mm.
Hanan just continues to deliver these like random heaters in the middle of the card. Um, yeah, I really enjoyed this.
I wasn't as high on this one. It felt very much like I felt like I kept waiting for the Hanan comeback, and like she got like maybe like 2 moves in a row, and then Momo just killed her again. And that just kind of felt like the match, and I think that works because of the dynamic. Like I'm not saying that made it bad, but it just definitely uh I don't know. I think this was like 80-20, and I was kind of looking for like 70-30, which is a very minor critique. But I think Hanan getting a little bit more shine would have been dope, personally.
Yeah.
Uh,
You
that
know,
that's
Momo
that's
is the white belt challenger, so
yeah,
gotta have her
and
beat
and she
people.
also she also had help because like Ruaka and Kid both beat the fuck
Oh
out of
yes, that's true.
Hanan. And that's why I
Yeah.
was like, okay, she needs to have like a really like dope comeback because like there's heat there, right? Obviously, like she has to have something, and then she got like like the famous her off. She did her really cool European uppercut to Momo while she was on the ground, which I thought was dope. Like she just threw her body into her. I thought it was great. But other than that, it was just all Momo, from my perspective. And she won with the bastard driver. So
Yeah.
I
And
thought it
that's
was good,
beast.
but you know,
All right. The match after that then was a Blue Stars block match. Mirai beat Mariah May in just under 13 minutes with a Miramare shock. This was like a white belt match in disguise because they were going crazy. Like they were just like Mariah or not Mariah, Mirai was putting her soul right into this one. Like this was exactly what she means when she says I'm putting my soul into it. She locked on. And yeah, this was great. Like they were just by the end of it, they were just trading crazy shit. And it was so good. Um, yeah, I was very disappointed that we will never get the rematch, kind of on a bigger stage. But you know what? I'm happy enough with this.
It was really funny because the first couple, like the first minute or two, uh, Mariah and Mariah did this spot, this like old British tech spot, right, where they like go through the ropes. And I was like, Mariah definitely heard that Mariah was British and was like, "Oh, I've seen some of that. Let's
Hmm.
do some Euro techers today, huh?" And I thought that was really good. I thought the first couple minutes where they were definitely like leaning into the more technical stuff was really sound and really well done from both of them. And then they start going at it and really killing each other. And I thought it was really, really fun. Mirai has figured out how to make the pay dirt look good, which is like the complete shot, the jumping thing that looks like you're rock bottoming yourself. Um, I don't know how, but it looks cool, and it's not supposed to, but she did it. She also hit the angle slam, so shouts out Team Angle. She needs to use the Hasa Pain soon, but no, I thought the match was really, really good overall.
The
I'm just
Olympic Slam is
reversing now.
such a perfect Mirai move,
Oh yeah,
and I cannot explain it. Like it just, as soon as I saw her, I was like, she should do an angle slam. And
oh
that's
yeah,
just
it's
it.
perfect, and
Yeah.
she does it so great 'cause she has the arm trap version where it's like it's just a bit
Ooh,
more
amazing.
nasty. But yeah, she did
Incredible.
that, and she did Shelton Benjamin's finisher. So I was like, that's funny. That's dope. That's dope.
Dude, Mariah's so great, isn't she?
She's really good.
Yeah, so I mean, this was a great match. Like if you needed a reminder of why Mariah has been so highly praised, this was it. Um, and I thought Mariah May was great in this as well. Her improvement just within this tournament has been absurd. Like day one Mariah and this Mariah are still two totally different people. And I mean day one of the GP, not like day one in
Yeah.
Stardom. Like day one of the GP and day
And that shit day
16.
one match was great. Like that's the
Yes.
thing, is that it's like it's all
Like
been great.
she's already improved so much in the short span of this tournament. Like it's absurd how she keeps doing it. And yeah, yeah, the fact that I'm comparing this to a white belt match is a big praise on both of them because there's a high bar for white belt matches. Like that is a belt that's been presented really really well since we both got into Stardom. So to have a
Mhm.
match worthy of that belt is high praise. And
This
yeah, I
tournament is
thought
so
this was great.
stupid.
Dude, tell me
With
about
how
it.
cuz like I'm looking at like my wrestler of the tournament thing. And it's like near the bottom, like all these wrestlers have done good. Like it's not like they've been bad. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like Kid has had good matches, Ami's had good matches, Natsuko's had good matches, Mina's had good matches, and they've all ended up like in the bottom 5 just because
Yeah.
the tournament is so fucking good.
Yeah, we're at crazy times here, and yeah, this Mariah Momo white belt match is gonna go crazy, isn't it? Like, oh my
Oh,
god,
100%. I mean
that's
that
going
that
to be
match on the
great.
first day was really really good and like it was
Yeah.
great. And but they were like you could definitely tell there was more to it that they didn't do
Hmm.
yet. So I'm excited.
Yeah, Mariah hooping fully is just the greatest thing. Because she was a bit iffy there for a while, and now she's just like, I've got it. I'm here. Don't you worry.
I think
Uh,
I think the thing with Mirai, and I was thinking about this yesterday, is that it's like at one point she was very hit or miss, but I think her hits at that time were probably better than most of her hits nowadays, even though she pretty much only has hits. Does that make sense? Because like I
kind
still
of.
think about that Suzu match, and I'm just like
Yes.
I don't know if she's topped that. Like she has probably. I'm just not thinking, but like that was different. You know what I mean? And I think about that. It's like, but at that time, like that was when everybody was unsure, and she would have a good match here, and then she'd have kind of a and then she'd have a great match, and like so now it's very rare that you see a downright like not good Mirai match, but I don't know if she has the same highs of highs as she did with that like Suzu match last year. But that's just a thought.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
All right.
I still love her. I still think she's great.
Of course. These two did have a bit of a post-match interaction that was very
Yeah.
much like, okay, yes, this was their unofficial white belt match, because that interaction screams Wonder of Stardom title, and I don't think I can put it any other way. Yeah, great match. The next match then was our main event.
For clarification, Mariah went to shake Mariah's hand, and Mariah was like, "Ah, nah, I'm not gonna do that," and just laughed. And Mariah left, and it was like, "Damn, she big leagued her." But yeah, that was the interaction.
Great stuff. Our main event was in the Red Stars block. Suzu Suzuki beat Ami Sore in 11.5 minutes with the tequila shot.
Mm.
Suzu goes up to 8 points with this win. And yeah, I thought this was another good match from Ami Sore.
Yeah,
Suzu is somebody who is always going to work well with her because she just likes to stand and trade. And I mean, Ami Sore can only stand and trade, basically, doing the chops and the forearms. So yeah, I thought this was a good main event, and I enjoyed it.
did you peep that point when Suzu just didn't kick out?
Yes. Yeah, that was very they intentionally zoomed the camera out. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
Yeah, like the
they
camera
did
went to the
the
hard
widest
cam.
lens possible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with the referee in the way so that you didn't see that yeah, Suzu did not kick out of one of the moves. That
which
was
is
very
wild
clever.
because
Sonny was on the ball right there.
a little bit. Yeah, shouts out to him for one time, one time. Yeah, it was interesting because it's like Suzu got right up. Like it wasn't like she was rocked, at least from like any clear point of view. You know what I mean? Like she looked fine like 5 seconds later, but she just forgot to kick out, which I was like,
Mm.
oh wow, Blue Thunder Bomb is legitness right there. Um, Suzu kept using this really cool submission. I don't know how to describe it, but she kind of like that was kind of her rest hold, so to speak. And I think more wrestlers need to have really cool looking rest holds, like holds there, just kind of like to put in the middle of the match to kind of like weed out time a little bit, work something. She got the neck and she got the leg and then she got the arm and then she just sat there just squeeze. I was just like, this is dope. Do that more, um, instead of Styles crabs and headlocks, please.
More wrestlers should go to the Mayu school of submissions, where she's like, she doesn't have one set submission. She's just like, I want to bend this and see how it works.
Yeah,
'Cause, yeah, that's pretty beast.
she sometimes
Um,
accidentally just does a Fujiwara armbar. It's great.
yeah, great lady. What I want to know is, why is Ami Sourei main eventing these shows, just
Yeah,
like
this is
out
the
of nowhere?
second main event she's had, and
Yeah,
other like semi-main events, like she's pretty high
I,
billing.
I feel like Mariah versus Mariah May is more of a main event to me, but
Oh,
you know,
100%.
I was just kind of confused. I was like, that is that is a choice to go on last.
They
But you
had to
know
have
what?
Suzu. They had to let Suzu do her
That's
puns
true, actually.
very
Yes,
Amisore.
Suzu closing the show is always very appreciated. We love to see it. Um,
She is the face of
that
the wrestling
was
world, after all.
that is true. And that's the only stuff up to review. The other two shows we can just kind of run through very quickly. So the next show then to talk about was on September 18th. This was Starverse Presents 5-Star GP 2023, supported by SoftBank Yamaguchi Tournament. I'm going to be so disappointed when the tournament ends and I don't get to say all that anymore. It's just going to be very empty. And this was in the Yamaguchi KDDI Ishin Hall in front of 437 fans. In the opener, Mariah May and Waka Tsukiyama beat Starlight Kid and Rocca in 9.5 minutes with the Once Upon a Time. It took until like 2 weeks before Mariah leaves for the website to finally get her finisher name right. So that's incredible. Um,
I don't know if
and-
I don't know if they do the tombstone properly yet, because it's the roll up.
oh really?
Yeah, the roll up is the
Oh,
once upon a time. The
oh
uh,
yeah. That's the happily ever
tombstone is
after.
happily ever after. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, maybe so. Maybe they
Mariah
still don't
stands
have it
too.
right.
That's.
Okay. You know you're doing the thing again where I can like hear you breathe.
Oh motherfucker!
Yeah.
I,
I
I
don't know.
I'm fat. I breathe heavy. My bad.
You're not fat. What?
It's an easy excuse. Let's move on.
That's fair. Okay.
I do be
Um,
breathe. I do be breathing heavily though.
Only sometimes. Only sometimes. Anyway, the next match was Koguma and Hanan beating Saki Kashima and Mirai. Koguma got the win over Saki Kashi with the 120% schoolboy in just under 8 minutes. The match after
Wait,
that was
what's that?
Megan.
Is that
I
the
don't know.
Kuma roll?
What? I don't know. I think it's a very specific version of this of the roll up. I couldn't even begin to explain it. It
Because
might be
like
the
she
one where they
does the
flip over again.
maybe okay, yeah.
Uh,
Because I was gonna say she does the like Charlotte's Web thing, but that's just a
yeah,
Kuma roll.
I don't know. But anyway, we had Megan Bain and Micah beating Hanako and Sai Ida. Micah got the win over Ida with a Michinoku driver in 6 minutes. Um, Poor Ida taking losses instead of Hanako. That's crazy.
See,
Um,
this one made sense because it was Micah, but
I
that's it.
guess. Okay.
Do you think that it's inversely related? Because Micah obviously loves very tall women. That is why
Mhm.
she loved Lady C and she loved Tameka, and now she loves Megan Bain. Do you think that she, in turn, hates Saida because she's short,
Probably.
and that's why she specifically is like, "Nah, I'm beating you." Um,
I could see it.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, Micah is like so in flirt mode with Megan Bain. It's like
Yeah,
hilarious.
she is our sapphic icon. She is so in love with this woman. And I just find it very entertaining.
Like
Uh,
they did a doomsday device, and there was a like Micah posted a picture of it on Twitter. She's like, "Oh my god, we work so well together. We should go out to drink sometimes." And I'm just like, "That's great. I love that." And
the
she's
thing
like
is,
learning English and shit. I was like, "This is
yes,
this is
she
excessive."
learning English just to speak with Megan is like a homegirl. You are in too deep. Um, but
I
yeah,
thought I was a fucking simp. God damn, homegirl.
yeah.
Mi-
Oh my God.
Micah's in it.
She is. The Japanese crowd seems to really like Megan, and especially Megan with Micah. Like I've seen like drawings and stuff of the two of them from some of the fans online, and I just think that's really cute. So the audience seems to be getting into Megan Bain, which I mean, we knew they would when she showed up.
Yeah,
I was like, tall foreign woman in a Joshi company is literally Joshi 101. Um, and yeah, it's proven correct once again. Match after that was Mei Seira and Suzu Suzuki beating Yun Mizumori and Tam Nakano. Suzu got the win in just over 9 minutes with a tequila shot. So she's pulling that one out again quite a bit instead of the German. So that's kind of interesting. Um,
it is kind
you
of funny that
have
her finish is the locomotive German, which is so simple, and the
mm,
tequila shot is like so much more theoretically like unique and brutal. But
yes.
it's just like her beat finisher. I think that's kind of interesting.
Well, maybe it's just because it's not hers. She doesn't
Yeah,
want to
I think that's the big thing.
steal it because it was Tequila Saya. And, you know, shout out Tequila Saya. I wonder what she's up to these days.
Oh,
Um,
she's around.
Anyway, yeah, I'm sure she is. The next match was Hazuki and Mayu Utani wrestling to a 15-minute draw with Azumi and Utami Hayashishita. That kind of makes sense because Azumi and Utami, they had the 10th anniversary match coming up, and they are, of course, challenging for the tag belts. So you don't want to beat them.
Mayu did get a visual over Utami though.
Um,
Like she
Utami in the
moonsaulted her
mud.
and she pinned her and she got like a 2. She would have gotten a 3, but the time expired.
All right. Well,
Or,
they
or
do
maybe
do
it
that in
wasn't.
everyone.
Yeah, but usually it's over in Azumi, not over. Like Utami is in the mud against Mayu right now. That's what I'm trying
Hmm.
to say. Uh,
That is a very interesting one because she beat
yes,
Mayu like once to win the red belt and has never beat her since. It's
and
kind
she
of
didn't beat her in
intriguing.
her first big match either. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. Also, Azumi shouts out in the Evangelion gear. Uh, it's my favorite gear of hers personally. It's the purple and black and green.
All right.
So love that.
The next match then was a Red Stars block match. Ami Sourei beat Natsupoi in 10 minutes with the Like a Thunder drop. And this
Bolt.
basically eliminated Natsupoi from the tournament. And yeah, gave Ami an upset win. Probably her last win. She's not beaten Suri.
She could beat
Um,
Shuri, but I doubt she beat Shuri.
yeah, I don't think so. I don't know who else she has, to be honest, but I would imagine this
She
might be
just
one of
has
her
Shuri.
last
It's
wins.
it's it's just
Oh,
Shuri.
it's just Suri. Okay, so this was her last win. The
The
main event
tournament's
then.
like over.
Yeah,
Only
I know.
two, only like 2 or 3 people still have more than one match to go.
That's great, honestly, because I kind of want the tournament to be over now.
Same.
it's it's
Mina
been so
Mina has
long.
2. It has been long, but Mina has 2. Hanan has 2. Utami has 2. Theoretically,
Wow.
Shuri has 2, and Hazuki has 2. Kid
Um,
has 2. So there's quite a few, but in practice that's like 6 matches.
yeah. Well, that's good to hear because yeah, this tournament has been dragging just a little bit over the last few shows.
It's more than six
Um,
matches, by the way. But yes,
Anyway, the main event was in the Blue Stars block. Mina Shirakawa beat Momo Watanabe in 14 minutes with a glamorous collection Mina. I'm so upset this one isn't up yet. Mina was bloody from the forehead. I need to see what shit went down
Yeah,
in this
me
one.
too.
This looks like a big defining win for Mina Shirakawa, and I am so upset that I haven't seen it, and probably will never see it because there's like 50 other things that I have to watch now
Alex,
before this. What?
we gotta watch all the tournament matches.
Yeah, but like there's so much other stuff.
We'll talk.
Tell
Yes, but
tell wrestling to stop.
I will force us to talk about any like exceptional tournament matches, even if we're reviewing them right now next week.
Okay.
Just so you know.
All right.
Like if this
That's
Mina Momo match was like superb, I'm bringing it up next week. We're talking about
okay.
it, which you should be happy about because it's very unlikely that I talk that much about Mina in a positive light for this tournament, other than that match. Because like that's the match that I'm like looking at. That's like this was great.
Yeah.
Then that's kind of Mina's tournament right there.
All right. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. If it's iconic, I'm definitely discussing it next week. That is for sure. Because I don't think there's much happening this weekend. I would have to double check. I assume it's just a 2 show run with a few matches. You know? You usually
Yeah,
know.
yeah. There's two shows. One's in Sendai. It's
Oh
fun.
dear God.
Oh shit! It's Wednesday, and that show just happened. So I think Utami probably would be out against Hanan. Fuck.
Yeah,
Well, that's not
that's
good.
why I was
I
very
totally forgot
unsure.
that like it's in 2 days their next match. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because you
Like
were like, "Oh, she has a week off," and I was like, "I don't think so." I didn't want to say you were wrong, but I was like, "You got it wrong."
Tommy Hanan's in 3 days. Damn.
So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But anyway, the last show to review was on September 20th. Oh my God, Starverse presents 5-Star GP 2023, supported by SoftBank Osaka Tournament. This is in the Edion Osaka Arena number 2, for under 489 fans. And this was earlier today, so who knows? So Mirai won the opening match. It was a four-way match. She was added to it kind of without notice. She beat Unimon, Saki Kashima, and Amisore in 5 minutes. So
God's Eye explodes, and also Unimazumori.
yeah, that's true.
There's a picture of Mariah and Amisori beating the fuck out of Saki Kashima,
That
like
is
chopping her so hard
incredible.
that her soul leaves. It's crazy.
I love that. I love that for them. Yeah, they don't say anything in this report about Utami, so that's not great. But you know what? It's fine. The match after that was Hanan Saida and Mayu Utani beating Hanako, Wakasukiyama, and Mina Shirakawa. Mayu pinned Hanako with a moonsault in 7.5 minutes. Megan Bain, Mei Sarah, and Suzu Suzuki beat Momo Watanabe, Roraka, and Natsuko Tora when Megan Bain pinned Roraka with the neck slam. I'm just gonna call it the neck slam. Our next match was in the Blue Stars block. Micah beat Mariah May. Micah won with the Michinoku driver in just under 9 minutes. As Dylan would say, the Angel Killer coming into
Yes.
effect, even though
Every
Mariah May is not a Cosmic Angel anymore.
But every single Club Venus slash Cosmic Angel has been beaten by the Michinoku driver,
That's true.
except for Seriano,
Wow.
because that was the
Gotta
draw.
get her. Gotta
Yeah.
get her at some point. These two did have a moment after the match. I believe Micah spoke to Mariah in English kind of
Yes.
secretly, and they both said, "Hey, we want to fight again."
I
You know,
promise to fight again.
promise to fight again. Are you sure about that? um,
See, like this shit's depressing. Like that's sad. I'm sad about that. I'm not sure if this match was any good. Obviously, we'll talk about it. Like if it was, but like I'm just like, man, you
yeah.
promised. You can't go back on that promise, homegirl.
The match after that, then, and this is why we are disappointed. The shows aren't live. Azumi beat Julia in 55 seconds in the Blue Stars block. That is crazy. Julia was
Oh,
on. What?
do you know what
No.
happened after?
Yes, I do, and I will get to that, but I want to have fun first.
I
So
didn't know until just now.
it's hilarious. Okay. So Julia has been really funny about this because she's been like, I'm a wage thief. I only wrestled for a minute and I got my money. What have I got to do? And before that, she was like, I paid so much to get here. I paid for food, transport, and I wrestled for a minute. She was very upset. It's been really funny.
The only this chick's a capitalist. That's what she is. The only
Yeah.
motherfucker would be upset that she didn't get to work enough. Come on.
Mm. Anyway,
Injured, by
After
the way. Like I
oh yes,
like
yes.
like take your day off, homegirl.
So after the match, Amisore strolls out. Amisore was like, "Where's the cool Julia gone? Uh, where's the cool strong champion Julia? She just lost in a minute." So she said, "I'm sorry it's so sudden, but let me challenge for the strong belt." And Julia said, "I don't like it." Same, Julia. Um, she repeated, "I don't like it," so she's very funny. But Amisari was like, "Hey, if Momoko can challenge, why can't I?" And honestly, that is
Momoko
great.
has not
That is
properly
great.
challenged yet, but she's right.
Yeah, like that is a great rationale. So yeah, they set up Julia versus Amisore for the strong belt. So
So yeah, I didn't know until I scrolled down and saw the picture of Amisari holding the strong belt. I was like, oh, that's what we're doing, huh?
that's incredible because yeah, I was there as it was announced, and I was like, oh my. So yeah, that'll be okay, I guess. Um,
Could be good.
the main event was this the main event? Yeah.
Yeah.
Main event was Tam Nakano beating Siri with the Violet Screwdriver in 13 minutes. Tam moves up to 11 points with that win, putting her just one behind Natsuko Tora with one match left against Natsupoi. And that could be a very defining match based on how they want to go in the tournament. Siri, I believe, is still alive in the tournament. She has 9
Yes.
points.
She has two
But
matches to
yeah,
go, but
I
she's definitely
imagine.
dropping to Kid, and I think that's her tournament
Yes.
right there.
Yeah, so I imagine she isn't going to win. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. These two work really well together, especially in the 5-star. So I'm sure this was a great match. Did Tam say anything of note in her promo? I'll definitely win. It's finally here, the final race. Our way of life will be culminating here. That is a very strange sentence to say. I won against Siri. I'm happy. Is she cute? No, nothing really of note there in the post match promo.
Wait a second.
What?
Concerned about something.
Why?
Hold on. I'm sorry. This is terrible audio. It always is. But I'm on Cage Match. I need to see something.
Oh dear.
Okay, we good. Never mind.
All right.
I was worried. I was worried that Tam. I mean, obviously, I knew Sherry beat her before, but I was worried that Tam was like,
Yeah, I think this is her first time beating Siri. This she
yeah.
mentioned that, so that's
I
kind of
forgot that they
crazy.
wrestled twice. Before and Sherry
Oh
won.
yeah, they had a red belt match, didn't they?
The
That
red
was a
belt
good
match was really
match.
good.
Yeah, I remember that being great.
Yeah, but yeah, and then they
Um,
had a match a couple years ago.
okay. So we have two shows to preview this coming weekend. These are the final two shows of the Grand Prix before the final, which
Okay,
seems
wait.
crazy to say.
One thing
What?
that I do not remember, and I apologize. Uh, it says that Shuri beat Tam in last year's 5-star by referee decision. What happened? Like, did she kill her? I don't remember this at all.
You'd have to go back and see. I don't know.
Oh, she passed out. Okay, passed out by decision.
That makes
Okay,
sense.
because
Yeah.
like I
Okay.
was like, that's crazy wording there. Because I was like, did she die?
Hmm. So we have two shows to preview this weekend. Two of the
Yep.
final shows of the Grand Prix, which seems absurd to say, given how long this tournament has been. But we are in the home stretch of, I think we can safely say at this stage, the single greatest tournament in Joshi wrestling history, or at least round robin
I
tournament.
don't know if I could
Because
safely say that. It's probably.
what is a better round robin tournament you can
See,
think
I
of?
have a lot of nostalgia for 2021.
There's literally no, like no. I'm sorry, that tournament had so much middling stuff.
Probably. I'm
It is
probably looking
propped
at
up
it
by
rose
that
tinted.
final day. Something
But it
crazy.
also had Takumi doing crazy shit and Izumi having one of the best
It
years.
did. But
And
Takumi's was kind of
Maya
weird.
was
Like
great.
some of it was very half effort. Like she showed up and like curb stomped Micah, and I was like, oh,
That did happen.
okay. Um, so yeah, I don't know. And then her and Utami had like a teaser match for something later, so it wasn't even as good as you would expect. So
Koguma went fucking insane. That was that tournament. Was Koguma going fucking
mm,
insane for no reason and then saying I'm out. That's
yeah,
that's my singles contribution. Just wanted to make sure y'all knew.
honestly, fair. But yeah, we can debate the merits of this tournament later at a later date. Anyway, first show to review, September 23rd, It is the Starverse presents 5-Star GP 2023 in Sendai, supported by SoftBank. This is in the Miyagi Aztec Museum. That's the slightly bigger venue that they run in Sendai, and it's a lot better than the pit from our experience. Although still, the crowds are kind of dead because that is Sendai for you. The opening match. Wait, we don't do the opening matches now.
Well, no, but that's an interesting one because it says Utami's going to be in a three-way. Would not be surprised if she got taken out, and then that becomes Yuna versus Ami, which is tag partners in the Goddess
yeah.
tournament. So that's interesting. Other than that, it's kind of
Yeah, there's not a lot happening here. Julia Tekla Hanako, Mayu Hanan. Jeez, that is rough. So we have a Blue Stars block match to kick off the GP action. I assume this is meant to be a Saya show because there's only 2 GP matches.
it was
That's
supposed to be
usually because
Saya.
Saya. Oh my god.
See, that's another thing is that it's like this would be without a doubt the greatest tournament of all time if Saya was healthy. There's
We
no
were
doubt about that.
denied so many
Yeah,
amazing Saya matches.
because she was
I'm
definitely going to
so
be like
upset.
a top 3 wrestler of the tournament, just because that's what she's at.
Yeah, that's what she
So
does.
yeah, this would have been literally the greatest tournament of all time if
Alright.
Saya was healthy.
So, my translation thing has decided to go crazy. I'm gonna assume this is
Mina.
Micah versus Mina Shirakawa. These are actually both big matches.
Yes, these are the
so,
biggest matches if Utami's injured. These are the
yeah.
biggest matches of the tournament,
So
pretty much.
Micah goes into this with 9 points, and Mina goes into it with 8. So a
So
win
if
for
Micah
either.
wins, Mina is out. And
Yeah.
if wait, where the fuck is it's right there. And if Mina wins, Micah's still alive. But yeah, this is Mina's tournament.
What do we believe? What do we think of a draw?
A
I
draw
pitch
would be
draws
interesting.
a lot, but a draw keeps them both in play just in case Utami isn't around.
Micah and then Mirai. That would no, yeah, because Ano could be yeah. Oh fuck yeah.
So I
Okay.
wouldn't say a draw was the original plan. They might do a draw now to keep them both alive and
I could
keep
see a draw.
everybody going. So
Cause
I
yeah,
would
I
say
mean a
draw.
draw would leave it up to the last day, obviously with Anu
Mhm.
and Mirai, because Mirai is also at 10.
Yeah.
So and she only has one left. So if she wins that, she and Mina loses against Anu, she
I
goes
think it's
through.
Mirai Micah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'd have Mirai Micah basically as a block final.
Yes. And oh,
Would
but
also keep Julia alive
oh, Julia would
technically.
be out. Julia would be out.
No.
If Mina drew, Julia would be out.
Why? You
Wait, hold
sure?
on. Maybe
Mina
it
has a
says.
tiebreaker over Micah. Wait, because
Oh,
then
okay.
yeah,
No, the reason I said that was because I put in that Mina over Anu. No,
oh, I think
yeah,
Julia is
okay.
out anyway. Because then Mirai beats Micah, she'd be on 12 either way.
Well, no, but the reason why I said Mina over would mean that Julia was out is because I assume that she would be Anu, which I don't actually think is an assumption to be made because I think Anu has a good chance of being
Oh
made.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess either way, this is gonna be a draw.
It could be anything. I mean, like if they want one of them
Yeah,
to take a lead, you know what I mean? Like they can. Like if Micah is going through, then winning here would probably make a lot of sense.
yeah,
Because Utami, if she does come back, will get to 10 presumably if she can
yeah.
face Hanan. Uh, and then everybody will be around 11, 10, 9. Uh, and Julia has the tiebreaker over
Then like
Micah, but
Micah,
not over Mina.
Micah can't
That's the
win.
thing.
Yeah, Micah can't win, because then that would eliminate Mina.
Yes,
So you're looking at a draw or a Mina win. So
probably.
presumably you want to keep Mina alive just in
That that
case.
that's the question. Is like is Mina winning this tournament?
Possibly,
Yeah,
possibly.
it's definitely a possibility. I was looking at it last night. I was like, oh fuck, this looks like very winnable for Mina.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's probably a draw would make sense, like you said, to keep them both alive. Because I'm pretty sure if either of them won straight out, the other one would be in very bad shape. Uh,
Yeah. Well,
especially
I
if
think
Utami's dead.
Micah would be okay still, but yeah.
No, if Utami is out of the tournament, Julia has the tiebreaker over Micah, even if she wins over Mirai.
Yeah, but I think Julia is out regardless because
And Julia's
no
not
matter.
out.
Oh wait, hmm. She has 9. I thought she had 8 because I was
No,
like, well, Mariah and Micah are either gonna win, and that would put them to
no.
thing. But
So
yeah, okay,
if Utami is out and Micah loses to Mina, Micah is out.
okay.
Hmm. A draw would make the most sense. Where's talking in circles? A draw would make the most sense.
Yeah. All right. So we have a main event then. Red Stars block Hazuki versus Suzu Suzuki, and this is another very important match. Hazuki is on a run of 4 wins in a row.
Mhm.
I assume she wins here.
This is Suzu's last match,
Wait.
by the way.
Oh, okay. So Suzu is out.
If she loses this match, Suzu is definitely out.
Right. Okay. Suzu has 2 points coming to her from Tora. Or not Tora, Saya Kamatani
Yeah.
on the final day.
So
So Suzu is technically on
Suzu
10. She's on
Suzu
10.
is on 10. She has this match. She can get to 12, and that's a tiebreaker over Natsuko because she beat Natsuko. Um, so basically, the way Suzu wins right now is Suzu beats Suzuki, Hazuki beats Tora, and Tam loses, and Shuri doesn't make it to 12. And like there are obviously other cases here, but mainly if Tam and Natsuko both lose and Suzu wins this match, Suzu's through.
Okay.
The other hand,
So,
Hazuki could just win out if
yeah.
she beats Natsuko and
So
Suzu
whoever
here, and Tam
can I just ask?
loses. Yes.
Whoever loses this is out.
Yes.
Okay.
You know
All
what's funny?
right.
I have been saying
Well,
this the entire tournament.
yes, yes, you have.
Whoever loses this match 2.5 months from now, like that 2.5 months ago, I said whoever loses that match is going to be out of the tournament, and that's going to be a big deal.
Okay. I think Hazuki wins because
She should win.
Suzu isn't winning either way.
Yeah.
She got her win over Tam. Probably gets her title match in November. You don't need her in the final.
You know what I could see happening?
What?
So Suzu doesn't win, and then
Mhm.
after that Korakuen match with Natsuko and Tam, Suzu comes out and is like, "Whoever wins, I want you next."
Yeah.
And because she has a win over both of them, so she has a right to challenge either of them
Yeah.
theoretically.
Yeah. See, that's why I don't factor Suzu in to the final day stuff because she's already got a red belt match secured
She's got a red belt
basically.
match, and she doesn't have a match on the final day. It's just it doesn't.
Yeah.
There'd be no
'Cause a
use.
lot of people were trying to like say to me like, "Oh, Suzu and Micah should be the final," and I was like, "No." um,
I mean, I was rocking with that at one point, but I don't
yeah.
think that's
You just
where
don't
we're
need
at.
it. You just don't need to do it. Suzu beat Tam. She beat Tam. She's got her title match basically. She's gonna get it. So I wouldn't factor her in. Um, this Red Stars block. I mean, Hazuki and Tora being a decider makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I would have Hazuki win here and eliminate Suzu. Um, that's that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
All right.
This is probably the biggest day of the
Yeah.
tournament, really.
So the other show to preview is on September 24th. This is Starburst presents 5-Star GP 2023
Penultimate day of the tournament.
in Sanjo. Sanjo City Welfare Hall. Oh my goodness. In Niigata. So, this is another match with 2 GP contests. Are there any interesting matches on this show? Let us see.
Eh,
No, not at all.
well, Tekla.
So,
Oh no.
no.
Who is that? Oh, it's Megan Bain. Oh,
Yes.
that's interesting. Megan
Uh,
Bain, Tekla versus Suzu and Meisera.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I guess kind
yeah.
of. Yeah. All right. So we have 2 GP matches.
Oh,
First, if
wow.
it happens, is Utami Hayashishita versus Hanan in the Blue Stars block. So if Utami's fit, she's winning. Obviously, I think that's a
Yeah,
fair call. And then we have a Red Stars block match. It's Siri versus Starlight Kid, and I think we both have Kid winning to
that feels
eliminate
like a Kid
Siri.
win. Yeah, I feel like
Do you think they
Kid.
stick with that though?
I think they have to.
I
Like
don't know. Like if
Kid
Utami isn't ready to
points.
go, yeah. But if Utami isn't ready to go, do you put Suri in contention just in case that's your plan B?
No, I don't think that Shuri would be a plan B for them.
I don't know. I mean, it's
I feel
Suri.
like of all of these people, Shuri being like, I don't think Shuri makes sense this year.
Yes, but she's Suri. And a year-end main event of Suri versus Tam kind of works. If
I
they
also
decided to
think,
go that way.
and this is kind of where I'm thinking with all of these like plan B situations, the more and more a plan B is necessary, the more I think we might not see the 5-star winner challenge the red belt champion. I already said with Hazuki,
Mm,
but I think Shuri could also challenge, dare I say it, Mayu, and that would
uh,
make just as much, if not more, sense at
I
this rate.
guess
And then you
kind
could
of.
leave Tam to do whatever story
I
bullshit
I
you
feel
want
like
Tam
you
to
set
do.
a very bad precedent if your GP winner is challenging for the IWGP belt.
I think this year it would be a bad idea, but I think in general, but at the same time, I think this year was supposed to go a certain way that's not looking like it's going to be able to go. Like
Yeah,
I don't think that the
you
precedent
can
is that
reclaim
bad.
this because Stardom has had this issue this year where like just give your roster title matches, like just let them go, and Mina or Hazuki or Maika challenging Tam is so much more preferable than once again going to the New Japan belt. Like, I don't know, I just feel like Tam's only defended the red belt once, you know? Like, give her the roster members, give her the big matches.
What you
Just
got to
let her
understand is that
go.
they love belt buckles. They look so
That's
pretty.
true. But I don't know. I feel like you're setting a bad precedent there if you have Suri challenge Mayu for a belt that's not theirs. So I would stick to somebody challenging Tam, especially because I just I just need to keep you need to give the people red belt matches. Like I don't know. So yeah,
Well,
that's my
there will
thought
be
on
two
that.
more by the time that this match happens, I imagine.
There will,
There's a
yeah,
year-end match.
yeah, I guess. But even still, um, I think you should stick to winner
But in that
challenging
case, then
Tam.
I still just don't see Shuri versus Tam. I don't think that's the match they run with.
See, I feel like it's an easy one for them to do because they work so well together, and they're both, they're two of, like the big six or whatever you want to call it in Stardom. So that
They're
alone sells it.
they're two of the four pillars.
Yeah,
The the name four pillars, not not the four pillar. The Stardom Quest.
what is it? The four Eternal Kings or
The
something?
four heavenly kings. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, I think you could sell Siri versus Tom on that alone. Although I am with you in that Siri's kind of having her year off from being in big matches, and I'm okay with that. Like we've seen Siri do this, December main event like 2 years in a row. So we can
I
give her
will
a
say
year
if
off.
Shuri wins this tournament, then at least her beating Mina would make sense in the UWF match.
Oh
Like that'd
yeah,
be a
I
good
forgot all
tune-up.
about that. Dude, they're
Um,
really playing with fire with some of this stuff.
if
Um.
Mina wins that, like I know, but like at the same time, I'm gonna be like, that's interesting. Um, but if she wins the tournament and then loses that match, that's also gonna be like, oh, you okay? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
What a dumb company.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like everybody is saying it. Some of their decisions this year are just kind of head scratchers.
I think I
And
saw you like mention it. Maybe it was on private, but I also have
it
mentioned this
was,
in the
yeah.
past.
Please don't
That's
like
like,
get me
no, I'm
killed.
not gonna. But that's like of the tournaments, Triangle Derby was like good for what it was, but it wasn't anything like special.
Mhm.
Cinderella was bad. This tournament was great, and then Goddess League looks not good. Um,
Yeah,
and how do you do that as a company, as a company that like prides themselves on their tournaments, for example? And it's like most of your tournaments have been mediocre in a year.
yeah,
Um, and then like your 5-star, your biggest thing, two of your top prize possessions, two of your top winners getting injured if Utami is officially out. Like
yeah.
2023 is a crazy year for Stardom. Like
Very odd. Very,
yeah,
very odd. We had Tam as double champion for about a month. That's a
yeah.
thing that just happened. Just
You know,
happened.
I might have to pan depending on who wins this and who challenges Tam at the end of the year, I might have to pan this entire year. I'm gonna be real. Because if I
Yeah,
get another Tam Julia match or another Tam Mina match, I'm gonna be. It's gonna
Tamina
be.
makes like the most sense though.
It does. It
I
makes
feel
a
like
lot
even you
more
have to
sense
admit.
than like it makes sense, but at the same time, I was like, I don't want to do this all year. Like I don't want 2023 to be this. That
Well,
sucks.
either
But
way, it is the year of Tam. There's no getting around
yeah.
it. It's hers. But anyway, that is all the stuff for this week. I imagine by the time this goes up, something will have been said about Tammy that will either render us completely obsolete or we will look like geniuses for assuming that she's going to miss the tournament. Either way,
Well, I
we'll be
was a
back
little
next
bit on the.
week.
I was a fence rider here, just so everybody knows. I was playing both sides. So I always end up on top.
Yeah.
So if
Well, you
either way,
see,
I'm right.
the perspective that she was going to lose anyway, so let her take the day off makes sense. But also, this is Stardom. And I feel like they are very big on give people the matches you advertised. Um, so like where possible, they would have just had her wrestle Mariah.
I
Like
wish.
it's very rare for them to pull somebody on the day of.
I wish that wrestling was more like real sports in the way that injury reports are. Because like this shit's very frustrating. Like just tell me if it's
Yeah.
day to day or if
Well,
it's week
I
to week
I
or if
assume they
she's
don't
out.
know. I
Yeah.
assume like because they were running the show today. And by the time that ended, you probably can't get her assessed. So it's probably
Yeah.
tomorrow at the
No,
earliest that they can get her
I know
looked at.
I agree and I get what you mean. But this is not only just a stardom issue, but this is just a wrestling issue, but it's also a stardom issue because you look at someone like Miyu Amasaki, who it's like, is she okay? Because she's injured every single month and you just never tell and then she just shows up one day. And it's like, can you just give me a bit more
Yeah.
clarity on what the
Oh, and
fuck is happening to
you
some
know
of
who
these
I was
people?
reminded of today? I
Mm.
pulled her in Stardom Card Party. Aya Sakura.
Yeah,
Where is
exactly.
Aya
That's what I mean.
Sakura?
That's what I mean.
Where
It's
is
like
she?
just tell me if she's okay. Like that's what
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting at. Because like sometimes they'll be like, oh, they'll be out indefinitely, and it's like, okay, I understand that's a long term thing, but outside of that, they just are like, you know,
Mm.
and it's like, no, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Please inform me. And that's an AEW problem as well. Like I think
See,
AEW is probably
I
the
think
worst
you're
at that
just
type of shit.
very I think you're just very American because in
Me too.
America it is a huge thing to like disclose every injury
Yes.
in a sports team like as soon as you can. But like in like the Premier League, for example, like a player will get injured and you won't know for days what the problem is. And there's no like
That's
the
true.
club doesn't release an official like injury list. You just have to remember. So I think it's just an American thing because you guys are constantly fed updates on like the injury lists of teams and stuff, whereas
Yeah.
like I'm used to it being very vague. Like Chelsea have
Yeah,
14
that
players
makes
injured.
sense.
But unless I just remember, who the fuck is going to tell me what is wrong with them? So I do. I think that's
Yeah,
an
it
American
probably
thing.
is an American thing. Because like I think about it,
Yeah.
it's like in a lot of cases, like Bandito is one of my favorite male wrestlers in the world, and he's just injured. I think I don't even know what he's doing right now. Like he might be doing shows in Mexico, and I would not know it because
Yeah.
the company he works for hasn't told me if he's injured or if he's
That
no
is
longer
true,
injured.
actually. Yeah, that's a good point. I think Queen Aminata had the same thing because
See,
she
yeah,
like
exactly. That's
disappeared
what I mean.
apparently, and I only knew last week that she was injured because somebody was like, "Oh yeah, she like hasn't done anything," and I was like, "What? You really?" Because Queen Aminata rocks obviously, as anybody who listens will know,
Yes,
she's
she's
awesome.
great.
And yeah, as a party, she's been injured for like months and hasn't been online, and I was just like, how did I know this? Like,
And okay, and part of this is just me being like ignorant and dumb, because this is separate, and we're riffing at this point. I apologize. There's not much more to talk about, but I just found out the other day. Like I knew she hadn't been around for a while, but I didn't know that that Canon from Sendai Girls retired like a year ago. I was like, oh,
oh
that's why
my
she's
god,
not been around. Because last week I said that Eureka Oka is like the lowest ranking wrestler in Sendai. And I was like, wait, no, there's one other girl. And I couldn't remember. And then the other day I was watching Sendai. I was like, oh, yeah, whatever happened to Canon? And it's like, oh, she quietly retired like a year and a half ago. I was like, that's crazy.
wow. Yeah, I remember actually they had two retirements. They had like a new girl who was
What was it?
making the posters, I think, and she also disappeared.
Or yeah, Cannon retired last October.
Yeah.
So not
Well,
a
she
big
was
deal.
like a
But yeah.
school age child,
Yeah.
so I can
Yeah.
understand that. It was the other one. I don't remember her name, and I feel bad. It was like a longer name though. Um.
That means
Okay.
he's okay.
Hold on now. Hold on now. Hold on now. There may be an update on Utami.
Cool.
Okay, I want to ask Peps. Shout out to Peps
Breaking
because
news.
he keeps me updated on all this stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I'm just gonna ask him.
I remember somebody asked me, and shout out to you because I'm pretty sure you're a listener. Somebody asked me on Twitter like, "Oh, where do you find this information?" I'm just like, somebody tells me about a about a message board it is just like it's so dumb that this is how a lot of the information comes out. But
Okay,
uh,
so I have asked Peps and he has confirmed. So the latest on Utami is she couldn't sleep because she was in pain. At the building, she could barely move. That's why she didn't wrestle. She couldn't have even if she wanted to. So not looking great for Utami.
no,
So of
um,
course that would happen towards the end of the show. I will have to advertise this. I'll have to be like, please listen till the end, please. Um, but yeah, I think we can safely assume her tournament's probably done. Like, there's no point in
if
risking
it's
her.
not, it should be.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing:
In
if
that
she's the
case,
winner, if she was gonna win, I feel like they might push through. But if she wasn't,
there's
then
no
just yeah,
reason.
call it. Like I know missing out on her
Hell,
and Julia is bad, but
but you know
you
what?
know
I said from the jump that they should not be doing Utami Julia as a block match at the
that's true.
like
Actually,
in the
yeah.
tournament. Like save that
I,
for something that matters.
it was always
You know what I mean?
a very weird choice. Because I thought it was like a teaser, and they were gonna run it in March for the big thing, but it seems less likely
See,
now that Utami was gonna be champ by then.
and it
So
was interesting because when the tournament started, we were looking at that as like, are one of them leaving? Because
yeah.
that was like the initial thought. Because they were both talking about going to America. They both went and wrestled in America.
Well, I think it
Um,
was more other people were very like, "Oh, is Julia leaving?" And I think somebody asked me that, and I was like, "No, of course not." But I could see why they would
but
think
but
that.
then it started feeling a bit more like, oh, and then I was like,
Yeah,
maybe she is leaving. Like maybe she does. You know, I was saying she should go to Crash, but I guess
Crash
hit,
Lucha Libre.
yeah, Crash the Leeway. Go to Tijuana.
Of course, of
Uh,
course.
but no,
Actually,
I
she
don't know.
should go to
It's
CMLL because
no,
that'd be
she should.
peace.
I mean, like, yeah, that's the correct answer. But
Everybody should go CMLL.
shuts up Kevin Knight. But yeah,
Mhm.
Utami's tournament being over is concerning because yeah, I mean, now I think it's safe to assume that it's just not. It's better safe than sorry in that sort of situation. 4 days is not going to fix, you know, not being able to sleep or move because your neck is in such bad shape. Um,
Yeah, the thing is though, these are wrestlers. I feel like this is a very common pain to be in, but I don't know. But it doesn't seem
that
great for her not
yes,
to be able to
I
wrestle.
and I think the thing is that, and this happens with wrestling, is that it's like wear and tear injuries are always viewed way less significantly than like sporadic injuries, unless the wear and tear is like to the point where they can't move. You know what I mean? Unless they're
Hmm.
paralyzed from wear and tear. Um, or like, an older wrestler. So I think that's where it's like both like it's a double-edged sword where it's like, okay, well, this didn't happen because somebody broke her neck the other day. Like that's not what happened. She didn't get her neck broken, or she didn't, nothing like that. But also wear and tear injuries are way harder to treat most of the time, so we are way less knowing of you know what this could be or what could happen, um what the timetable is, but that's just speculation.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, we'll know a little bit more, obviously, probably tomorrow, because that's our luck. But just based on that latest information, it doesn't seem great for Utami. And, something like that probably can catch on after a tournament like this, where everything builds up and your neck is just gone. Because this happened to Julia as well, didn't it? Just 2 years ago. She had neck injuries late in the
And she
tournament.
she went out, it wasn't even late in the tournament, it was a couple matches in.
Yeah, so I think if I was Stardom and she wasn't gonna win anyway, I would take the safe route and just not have her wrestle anymore until Well, not in the tournament, obviously. Like I'd take her out of the tournament. But who will just have to wait and see. Because if she is the winner, I can see them and her wanting to power through and just kind of get to the Julia match and the final, whatever that may be. But
She
we'll just have to wait and
will
see.
have effectively time off during the Goddess tournament because she's just tagging with Lady C, and we know how much they love letting Lady C boil in that ring and not tag out. So if
Yeah.
she's
Well,
still in that,
I would take her out of tag league if it's
right,
that bad.
that would
But
make sense.
yeah.
But you know,
But as I say, we'll have to wait and see. I
yeah,
don't want to
we'll
be
wait
like
and see.
safety police and like overreacting, but I would always say safety first for a wrestler's health, especially a young wrestler who you rely on heavily for the future of your company. So, fingers crossed that Utami is okay, because her and Julia on that last day would be fantastic. But look, if her health isn't in the best place, then she needs to look after herself, and Stardom needs to look after her. That is their
If
responsibility as well.
depending on the timetable, hey, just give me an Aphrodite return year end. Like that would be
Yeah.
like if she needs time off, she needs a few months off, like please give it to her.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because I'd much rather that than in early retirement, frankly.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Neck injuries, as I say, they always give me PTSD because that
yeah,
is exactly how Arisa disappeared, and I just, I'm every time, no matter what, I'm always going to be like, oh shit, no, not again. But yeah, we like to overreact sometimes. But anyway, it's time to close the show because we have been talking about Utami for the last 20 minutes. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Ijo.
Ijo.